When I was like 14, 15 and I used to watch Friends and I used to see Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah, she's got some really sharp. So Jennifer Aniston is here.
Yeah.
Can we be friends?
I always used to think in my mind that when I, get older, when I enter a room, I want people to know I work out.
Never trust a skinny chef and never trust an overly popular influencer.
Definitely not the intro I was expecting.
I think your biceps are much more than mine and I'm not feeling too good about it.
I do remember having a crush. The way he looked at me, I was like, I don't know, I saw myself differently that day. Be very aware that when you're vaping, it is probably the most abrasive thing that you're doing to your body. The controversy was very simple. It's a protein bar. It has a whole lot of additives and chemicals.
You have a problem, my friend. What is it?
That is so critical because I'm not a teetotaler, and it was a hard time in my life because I was going through a separation.
You know what? Very often it's said, never trust a skinny chef and never trust an overly popular influencer. So today for the next 30 minutes, I have every damn reason to doubt the person I'm in conversation with. She's a very known face and a very enviable body. I think your biceps are much more than mine. And I'm not feeling too good about it. Shitija, welcome and welcome to Chennai Live. How are you?
Thank you. Definitely not the intro I was expecting, but fantastic. It's a pleasure to be here.
You know, Shitija, it's been a wonderful journey, and first of all, I must congratulate you. You won the Cosmo India Best Influencer, Fitness Influencer Award,
I
South.
was in the top 3. I did not win. But
You won our hearts, I can tell you that, and you won our calories also. Okay, so it's been an amazing journey. You haven't been an influencer since many years. I think it's been something you just started and organically through some really strong content that you've been putting out.
Absolutely.
Talk to me about fitness influencing. What's that space like? Too competitive? Everyone thinks they are experts. Everyone thinks their advice is the best. How has that journey been on Insta?
I don't think I ever thought of myself as that.
Yeah.
So I am not somebody, contrary to what people may think, I don't like competition. I stay in my lane. And I'm a horse with blinders, and I don't look around. I actually don't spend too much time on Instagram either. I don't check out anyone else's stories. Even sometimes friends ask me that, what is going on? Because I'm truly that person who's very, very focused on my own journey and my own growth, and I am my own competition. I live by all of that. And the fact that you spoke about my biceps, I have to tell you that when I was like 14, 15 and I used to watch Friends and I used to see Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah, she's got some really sharp...
And back then, there were not that many. There were many skinny actresses, but there were never that many that were that fit. And I always used to think in my mind that when I, get older, when I enter a room, I want people to know I work out. And I knew that even when I knew nothing about work. I don't even think I was 15. I think I was even younger. And I was a plump kid. But I always used to think when I enter a room, I want everyone to know that I train. And, well, I'm living my dream.
So Jennifer Aniston is here.
Yeah.
Can we be friends? I'll be there for you. I don't know for how long, for the next 30 minutes for sure. When we say a transformation, it's not just the body, it's the mind. And it would take something very, very big for someone to transform, right? Either you look at the mirror and you don't like it at all. Either your husband says or your boyfriend says, I've got really bored of you, you need to transform. You're getting married, some big occasion is coming up, you're the center of attention, then you want to transform. It takes all these reasons, some motivation, some incentive to do it. You are an expert, but first of all, you experienced it. Now let's understand, why did you said you were a fat child, It's not a nice thing to say, you were a fat child. Let's say you're a plump child, it's okay. But how did Shitija, first of all, there must be that change in you, the mind shifted before the body transformed. So what happened? Who is Shitija and how did fitness and you get into a relationship?
Actually, none of these things have happened to me. Neither my boyfriend nor my husband or anybody ever said that I needed to. In fact, I was always loved in every shape and form. It was me. I did not love the version of myself that I was. I was always very confident. I was a plump kid. And I remember my mom constantly being like, listen, you know, it's easier to burn off the fat when you're younger. And I would be like, I'm fine, because I was a tomboy. But I do remember having a crush, my first crush. And the way he looked at me, I was like, okay, maybe I'm just a baby. And when I looked at myself in the mirror that day, it's still very vivid in my memory. I was like, well, I'll show him. And I don't know, I saw myself differently that day. And I think in the next 3 to 6 months, of course, I lost the weight.
And you lost the crush also?
I lost the crush also. He asked me out for a movie and I was like, no. Because I just wanted to prove something to myself. And that defines who I am. At every point in life when someone or something has made me feel that you're not good enough, I'm like, just wait for it.
But you know, in our society, things have changed, obviously. But still, a lady in a gym lifting weights, it's not the most accepted thing. But here in front of me is a lady who helps men also lift weights and transform themselves. So here is a fitness expert, a transformation expert, a coach. So tell me, in the gym, what is your experience? Are people like, oh, very welcoming, like, look, wow, amazing? Or people look at you and give you those dirty eyes and you're like, I know what you're thinking, but how is it for a lady?
I would like to have said that it was very welcoming, but it isn't. And I think I break almost every stereotypical norm there is to break. And I'm also a very private person. So even though it's very contradictory, right? My life is very public, but I am a private person. So I'm the kind of person that when I'm in a gym, I'm just like, listen, I'm in my lane, I'm doing my thing. As long as you don't sort of come in my space and make me uncomfortable, I'm going to be out of your way. But I'm also that person that if you're going to cross the line with me, I will be the one calling you out on it, 100%. So it just became like, every other day I was calling people out on, you know, the stuff that they were doing. And
Give me an example as to like, what was it that made you
There
uncomfortable?
are like people who are passing comments and I am not just talking about, you know, you may be thinking that, oh, a trainer coming from a very, very different background or a school of thought, I may be very different for him to, you know, understand. I get that. But even people from similar mindsets and backgrounds and exposure coming and just not being able to wrap their heads around it was a bit odd sometimes. And it's not only male specific, even women. Women can't wrap their heads around it. And there are some who are very encouraging, and there are some who are inspired, and there are some that take away the positivity from it, and there are many that don't. And it's fine. But I'm a private person, so when I am in a space where I feel after a certain point uncomfortable, then I just take 2 steps back and I go somewhere where nobody bothers me. Because for me, my training is literally my religion. I'm there for 2 hours. I'm just there to do just that. I'm not there to socialize. I'm not there to chat. I don't want you to know who I am. What I do on Instagram is in a professional capacity. I don't go to the gym in a professional capacity. I go there as Shitija, the girl who likes to train. That's it.
Fitness influencers selling these 21-day transformation packages, 14 days to be the better you, a new you, has been very, very misleading. Do you actually believe you selling 21 days is right, A, ethical, 2, possible?
Have you heard of the placebo?
Yeah, the mind.
It's the same thing, right? I'm not saying that your body can transform in 21 days. So for instance, our body is made up of so many different things, right? There are different organs. Each of them provide a different function. For women, hormones play a very big role. So there are various different aspects of health that come together for you to be healthy and fit, which are 2 entirely different things. If you're not healthy, there are many people who are fit but may not particularly be healthy. In 21 days, the goal is that 1, we teach you certain, I pay very close attention to teaching you certain lifestyle changes that can help you achieve that particular goal. So in 21 days, I will teach you what you should be eating, what you should not be eating, so that your hormones are a little more harmonious at the end of the 21 days. Does that make your journey easier? For sure. Because if you're someone struggling with weight, and I think many women out there will resonate, whether they are in their childbearing years, whether they are in perimenopause, whether they are in menopause, the struggle is very real. So when you are teaching them that, listen, at least start by doing these 5 things and not make it a very overwhelming, it's taken me 10 years to get here, and rather than let's start with 21 days, take one step. Because it does truly take 3 weeks it takes as less as 3 weeks to actually build in a habit. And 3 months, I have reversed at least 70% reverse fatty liver in like about 3 to 4 months. I don't do anything medical related. I only teach you how to eat.
Mind related and habit related.
Yes. Yeah. It's habit related, it's mind related, it's food related. I teach you how to set your pantry, I teach you how to cook, I teach you all the basics that will set you up for success. If after that, and I pretty much say this with a lot of confidence, if after that you're not feeling good, go to a doctor. I'm pretty sure, and I do work with a lot of doctors, and I give nutrition plans for people who are already consulting with doctors for various, more serious chronic issues. The idea is always to work in tandem with various different approaches, medical approaches. But if you're somebody who is unable to start, which honestly, honest to God, that is the biggest problem. I have people that come to me with chronic issues, but they're not ready to start. You have to start. Yeah. And to even get someone from that place of when they consult with me to getting them started, sometimes is me talking to them. It's almost like being a little bit of
counselor, come friend, come,
and then a nutritionist. That's step 1.
Now, you said 3 things very nicely, Shitija. You said it's the mind, it's the food, and it's the lifestyle. Let's decipher 3 of them put together. Would you be able to tell people, are you able to do these certain things? Or do you have difficulties in doing certain things? Then you are not fit. But if you're able to do this, you may not have the biceps or the shoulders, but you're fit. Fitness, looking fit, and actually being fit are 2 different things. So what would be the 3 barometers you say, if you can do this, or if you struggle with this, you have a problem, my friend? What is it?
1 is sleep. It's the most important. If you're sleeping well and you're able to sleep well and not having disrupted sleep on most nights, you're doing well. That means your body is detoxifying, you're resting well, and it's giving you the energy that you need for the next day. If you're not sleeping well, you really need to look into it because there's a variety of things that can be going on. 2, if you're finding it very hard to break a habit, all this socially drinking, socially vaping, socially the lines are really blurred. What is socially? Socially, when our parents were maybe our age, was, oh, okay, we are going out twice a month. Socially, I have 2 drinks. Today, it's thrice a week, and socially, you are having 4 drinks 3 times a week. 12 drinks a week is not social drinking, just FYI. That is so critical because I'm not a teetotaler. I mean, I've not now had alcohol for a while, but I'm not a teetotaler. I do drink when I travel. But be very, very aware that it's a toxin. Be very aware that when you're vaping, it is probably the most abrasive thing that you're doing to your body. So when you're not able to break out of these habits because you're like, oh, everybody does it, you need to really address it because it can very quickly progress into something more serious, and then it's even harder for you to break out of it because it really truly starts affecting, again, your sleep and various aspects of your health, mental and physical. And the 3rd is probably a combination of what we call the circadian rhythm, that are you able to wake up at round about the same time every morning and also sort of your bowels are in tandem with your waking times. That is a great indicator that your body is doing what it should do when you're asleep. These 2 out of these 3 things are not to do with anything that you are doing, right? Like sleeping is just sleeping. But you can have better sleep if you put your gadgets away an hour before and you sort of de-stress, spend that time maybe talking to your partner or whatever, and then sleeping and in a dark room and seeing to it that there are no unnecessary lights and sounds that are on will ensure that you have better quality sleep. The truth is that today people are not able to stop scrolling, which is what I'm coming to, right? Like the drinking, the vaping, the scrolling. These are all those sort of addictions that people need to break out of. So these are my top 3 things.
So how does one strengthen their mind, and how do we know whether our mind is strong or weak? Is there a way is there a hack for that also?
I always say this, you play tricks on your mind.
Yeah.
Your mind is a beast, okay? It wants to have fun all the time. It wants to show you the easy way out because it does not want to go through physical pain or it does not want to go through anything that may seem seemingly hard or even dangerous or whatever. So it's always going to show you the easy way out. That is the job of your mind. It is supposed to protect you. That's what it does to protect you. It is your job then to figure out when to control the mind and when to let the mind control you. So it's small tricks. Let's say one thing that always works is that I tell all my clients this, okay, listen, you've lived this way for, I don't know, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, whatever. Now give me 7 days or 10 days. I don't go over 10 days. I keep it very realistic.
I'll give you 11 days, Shitija, no problem. Take
Well,
how much ever time.
11 days, just do what I'm asking you to do. And I still work with them. It's not that somebody who's sleeping at 2 a.m., I say sleep at 8. I'm like, can we do 12? Can we do 11? Okay. And then I'm going to make you put an alarm at 10:30 and let's try.
Small
and
ways.
Next morning, I will always ask. Or someone from my team will always check in and be like, did you do that? Did you do that? Did you do that? When somebody is every day asking you,
Correct.
listen, did you do that? Listen, did you do that? It's kind of like, okay, I think I have to do this. Because
You become
that's
answerable.
100%.
Yeah.
And a lot of people need to be accountable. You asked me about my mental strength. I think I have to say that I was born with it. I'm a really strong, very determined person. And that has been the defining factor in my life. I don't think that I developed that skill. To be honest, I was born with it, but I did hone that skill. And as I grew older, I knew how to play it to my advantage.
Now, how does one get into meditation? Like you said, the starting is the problem. When you start is when the journey will take its own course. How does one start meditation? Because you say meditation has been a huge help to you in your life.
Yeah.
So what are the benefits of meditation and how can I start?
For anything, it starts small. So don't get into 10 minutes, 5 minutes. I tell my clients that I want you to wake up in the morning. I don't even call it meditation. I say, wake up in the morning, go in the balcony, terrace, wherever you have some open air, sun exposure, sit there, play a sound that you like. It can be water, it can be the jungle, it can be whatever. You can even put a timer for 2 to 3 minutes if you're a restless person. And just sit. Let your mind do what it's doing. I'm not asking you to stop it. I just want you to sit. Over a period of time, when they do this again and again and again, they actually start enjoying that 2-3 minutes in the morning. And then I'm like, okay, let's do 5. And once you get to that point, there is no rule. You know, people are like, you have to sit and meditate, you have to do this. You have to be comfortable. And meditation ultimately is becoming comfortable with your thoughts. That's all that meditation is. Whether you're lying down, whether you're sitting, whether you're doing anything, the fact that you're allowing your mind to be, you have to think of thoughts as waves. They're coming and going and coming and going, and play that game in your head and be like, it's coming and it's going, yeah. And many times it is the uncomfortable stuff. It's the stuff that you're not addressing. It's somebody who you need to confront and you've not done that confrontation. And just tell yourself in that moment, okay, I'll do it. It's again the same game that you're playing with your mind. Be like, yeah, I'm going to do it. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. The minute you say it's fine, it'll be fine, all is well, believe me, it's very like simplistic stuff and you have to start very small. But start with 3 minutes of a sound that you like.
Shitija, you recently got into a controversy. You created a controversy for a new company, and I think it's a very important thing that you brought out, because Kellogg's is great food for a child, Horlicks is great energy for a kid. These things we've heard so much on. Little did we understand what the label actually means. Little did we understand what is being served with so much of love and advertised with so much of care is actually very, very harmful.
Yeah.
Run me through what was the controversy that you picked on? What was the issue that you saw there? And is that a lone thing that you saw, or is every damn FMCG company actually trapping all of us?
I am very passionate about this. I am one of those people who really believes that I would want to be involved in creating some sort of legislation around what is in our grocery stores. I believe in countries like Singapore now, they have aisles which are red, orange and green. And so people don't have to learn to read the label, which is how it should be, because a layman would not know X from Y. So red is the ones that you should know are very toxic for your body. Orange is somewhere in between, and green is a green signal that this is very healthy to consume. A lot of the stuff that goes in packaged products is pure chemical, right? And they are versions of food, they're not actual food. It is literally chemicals. So when anybody talks about selling a product that, listen, this is great for XYZ reason, what is that reason? Are you telling me that by eating this bar, it's a great substitute for the banana post my workout? What are you trying to sell? The controversy was very simple. It's a protein bar. It has a whole lot of additives and chemicals, and it is being advertised as a healthy bar, and that is an issue. Advertise it as what it is. It's like a chocolate, because today in a chocolate also they're the same kind of chemicals. This is like a chocolate. But when you tell somebody that this is a health bar, this is a protein bar, and listen, it is going to give you so much protein, but it's going to give you so much chemical. And my bigger problem with that is because it is something somebody can consume daily. See, a chocolate maybe only few people will consume daily. Some know that it is harmful because it has sugar. But when you sell something by saying this is something you should be consuming daily, because you will get 10 grams of protein in a country that is largely vegetarian, they're going to run and they're going to eat it. And then they're going to choose it over a banana or a fruit, which is highly detrimental. If you are selling protein for the sake of selling protein with so many chemicals in it, my problem is with that. Somebody can go and have a scoop of protein today. There's widely hundreds of brands available, and some of them doing a really good job, great certifications, and they are selling you protein. They can have protein in that form. My problem is that don't sell this as a health bar. It's not. It's actually very unhealthy. It should be in the unhealthy zone actually. Just because it has 10 grams of protein, that doesn't negate all the other stuff that it comes with. Honestly, it was just a very honest review of a product, because I am very anal about what I put in my body, what I feed my son, what I give my clients. And so I keep researching things, and I pay very close attention to the labels. And there is no understanding in the general public of what should actually be consumed, because everything has been normalized. So it just became something.
Which protein bar were you talking about?
I'd rather not. But Hindustan Times is carrying that story and has for many weeks now.
And how did it settle down? Did the company call you up, or was there anything like that? Give me an honest, because I heard that you were approached through backdoors saying, now take it easy.
Oh, no. Nothing like that. But yes, they did get in touch with me. They did. They got in touch with me, and I gave them
Deepika got in touch with you?
No. There's a co-founder.
Okay.
There's a co-founder. So the celebrity is not the founder, obviously.
Okay.
That can't be his expertise. But there's a co-founder, and the co-founder got in touch with me, and I gave him my true opinion, which he was gracious enough to at least hear out. Because I'm not someone who gets on a call with anyone. I'm like, listen, I'm not interested. But he wanted to know my perspective, and I gave him my true perspective. So I'm like, if we are talking about people consuming chocolate and that this may be a better, option, which also I don't know, but I'm saying that's a different story. It's how far are we taking consumerism? It's not just with food, it's with everything. It's with fast fashion, it's with anything. So there has to be some sort of responsibility.
Absolutely. I think nutrition and reading these labels are so important. I wish these are taught to kids. It's very important. But for us who don't know too much, what would you say 3 foods that we're actually very, very healthy but we're not consuming? It's right there for you. It's so accessible. It's so affordable, but you're not using it because it's not been marketed by a corporate. And which are the 3 foods you say it's been marketed so well? You're having it, spending money, but you know what? It has no value. It maybe is not good for you. 3 things you'd recommend and 3 things you say avoid.
I'll tell you one thing. Actually, in theory, the right things are being marketed, right? Protein is very important. But you have to understand, where are you getting it from? You have to get it from sources that are going to give you true high quality protein without additives, without chemicals. You can also get it from food. I mean, of course, if you're a vegetarian, you can get it from Greek yogurt. There's organic tofu. I'm not even getting into tempeh and stuff because that's very hard for, Indians to have. But organic tofu and the quality of it has become really good. It actually tastes really good. There is Greek yogurt, and there are so many companies doing good quality Greek yogurt, giving you ample protein. If you're a vegetarian, eggs, the world is your oyster. But even protein supplements, there are a lot of really good protein. Again, now you will have to read the label because not every protein supplement is clean. You have to understand clean protein from not so clean protein, which is something that I definitely educate my clients about. But there are various ways of getting protein. Now, what I find really annoying is stuff like, oh, gluten-free, oh, this packet of chips or whatever is gluten-free and it has protein and it is this and it is that. What about the sodium? What about the cholesterol? What about the edible oils? What about all that other stabilizers, the flavoring that you're putting? All of those things, what about that? It's not just about the protein. At what cost you want to not eat gluten and eat protein? You have to understand these things. These are gimmicks. You have to ultimately know it is whole food that we are going for. You should take supplementation only in cases where we are not able to get, enough. Like a vegetarian cannot get enough protein from the normal diet.
How important and why is it important for women to lift weights?
It is literally the most important thing. I even say this to my 60-year-old mother who does yoga, but let's understand one thing. I am a big believer of yoga, Pilates, and all of these, but these are your secondary form of training. Your main and primary form of training has to be strength. And it has to be, first you can start with body weight and then build on to free weights. Free weights, or if you're not somebody who's very confident with free weights and machines, because they see to it that you are in a particular form and you can't really go off track too much. But strength training is so important. Women start to lose muscle mass very quickly after the age of 35. That means they are losing it. Even if they are building, they are losing it. So if you're not building or if you have never built, which is why once you start losing a lot of muscle, your body starts pulling out whatever it needs from your bones. That's why Indians have a classic case of brittle bones all the time. Osteoporosis is number one. Indian women are number one on the radar for osteoporosis. And the reason for that is very much this. I think in all our households, there's a grandparent sitting with a knee replacement or a hip replacement or somebody's fallen. It is because of brittle bones. And that's because Indians in general don't have protein as a integral part of their food, and they don't have strength training as an integral part of their lifestyle.
Bust 3 myths for us today.
First one has to be protein. It's the same, right? With the weightlifting is one and protein is another, and they're both interrelated. Oh, I'm not going to have protein, it makes me gain weight. I'm like, it's the opposite. It actually, in a fat loss journey, the first thing that I prioritize is protein. Protein does not make you gain weight. It's a very important macronutrient that helps your body metabolize your food effectively. So please have protein in the purest forms that you can in terms of whole foods. Second is strength training, super important. Even young girls now are developing, showing early signs of osteoporosis. And the best way to check that out is to do a bone density test. Just go for a DEXA scan, check your bones out, and keep doing that every now and again. It's not just about the fat loss, it's also about building a strong body. So that. And what is the third myth?
Could be about food, could be about a lifestyle.
That dal is protein.
Yeah.
It's not.
You're saying dal that we have
Is not
Indian dal, which is a staple food.
Yeah.
Is not protein.
No. So every food is made out of proteins, fats, fiber, various things, right? When we categorize a particular food as this is protein, is because it gives you a really good amount of protein, which is over 5 grams minimum in one serving. Dal is not that. It gives you more carbs, less protein. Just like paneer gives you more fat, less protein. Doesn't mean paneer is not. Actually, paneer is a good source of protein, but you have to understand that it also has a lot of fat and a lot of calories. Dal is a primary source of carbohydrates. It has protein, but in dal it's very negligible actually. At least paneer is good if you understand how to moderate it.
Run me through, when was the moment, or how difficult is it to be a single mother where you choose, I will play the role or multi roles for my child, and there was this time when I decided I'm choosing self over society. Talk to me about this part of Shitija that nobody knows, and the real influencer lies in not in the real story but in the real story. Tell me about that.
I think it started with my journey of infertility, actually. I was trying to conceive for a long time and I was not able to. Multiple failed IVFs and I was steeped in depression. I was extremely overweight, and because of all the hormones that are pumped into your body during IVF. And I think after the third one, I had had enough. And I had a chat with my then husband and I was like, you know what, let's take some time out. And we both agreed that we'll just let life take its course. Which is when I got into nutrition and I started reading a little more about it. I started training a little more seriously, and I sort of left it to the universe to, take me wherever life takes me. Slowly I started to lose the weight, but along the way I figured out that I have an autoimmune thyroid condition which nobody was able to sort of pinpoint, which is why I am who I am today. It took a lot of research, reading a lot of medical journals, just going online and, grasping all the information that I could to understand what was happening in my body. Well, I was right. I think this is my calling because I was able to pick up the right kind of cues and apply them in my life. I did not have any nutritionist at that time because nobody was understanding what's happening. I lost about 8 to 10 kilos. I got pretty fit and I naturally conceived. And it was life-changing because when doctors around the world tell you something is not possible, but the voice in your head is like, no, it's not over yet, which is coming back to who I am. There was something in my head which is like, no, this cannot be it. Your perspective of life shifts. You now start looking life from the lens of what is the best thing for this child and how can I show up in the best capacity. Of course, I had a lot of postpartum depression, and I then went back to all of the stuff I had done before I got pregnant, slowly started healing myself. But I got certified in nutrition and all of this was happening. But I also realized that maybe I wanted to know what's my purpose. What is my larger purpose? Because it didn't seem like I was living that purpose and I was showing up in the capacity that I wanted to for my child.
We started this interview when you said, you had this horse eye view.
Yeah.
And I think it's great because you shut your ears, and during this important, very deciding and bold phase of your life and the decision you took, I'm sure people around you would have been having their little words. What was it that people heard or told you then that hurt you very much and you said it's okay?
I don't care, man. I really don't. It doesn't matter to me. I don't even listen. I don't even listen. I told everyone around me that I don't want to hear anything. This is a very personal process. And I think both me and my ex-husband handled it with great maturity. And today we are really good co-parents. We are friends.
Lovely.
And our child can see how two people can be in love, then choose different paths, and still, I always say this, right? We are like a new age, slightly restructured family.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just what it is.
But I think the person within you is what makes you a very, very good influencer. I'll tell Cosmo about this. It's not the fitness influencer, but it is the female influencer that you are. You stand for today's woman. You stand for what a woman can do, must do with her life, the freedom to choose, the freedom to dream, and the freedom to pursue. And you do all of this so wonderfully. My final question to you, Shitija, everyone will ask you for this. What's your health advice to people?
My health advice to people is, please keep it very simple. Sleep well. Eat real food. Try and have some self-time in the morning. Whether you want to meditate, sometimes if your meditation is hard, then just go for a walk. But just get outdoors for a little bit. You don't have to push yourself to like go for a 10K run. You can also just go for a walk. But whatever you choose to do, make a habit out of it. Do it very consistently. Choose 3 things and start applying it today, and just keep doing it and doing it and doing it like that, it becomes a habit, and then build from there.
What's your relationship advice?
Oh my God, I'm probably not the right person for this. I don't know. I think I'm somebody who is just always looking for a very authentic connection. It's I've been thrown into this world. I was married for such a long time. And I think the world has changed so much from when we were young. And I'm very old school, very old school. Contrary to my appearance, I really believe in real love, real connection, and it has to be organic. So that's where I'm at. But I don't know if I can give anyone some real type advice. Just be real, keep it real.
It's been a wonderful conversation, Shitija. I know the fitness side of you. I got to know the wonderful personal side of you, which is so integral, so important. It's been a pleasure having you on Chennai Live. Thank you.
This is Chennai Live, Radio Redefined.